Beamish Wooden Railway, Episode 25, Jealous George. Bertie, the bus, has been on the island of Sodor for a long time. And he carries passengers everywhere. And George, the steamroller, on the other hand, doesn't think of rails that much. He always likes tearing them up. But one day, something made him realise that how to learn to treat steam engines. One day when Bertie was resting, George came rolling in. Grunted George as he pulled in.
I wish I was a bus so I can carry passengers.
Don't be silly, said Bertie. You're a steamroller. I'm a bus.
Yes, I know, but still, buses are dumb. Steamrollers are the best. You should be scrapped.
No, said Bertie.
Well, you should,
said George, and he rolled away. What a rude steamroller, thought Bertie as he drove away. But George had a plan. That night, when Bertie was asleep, George decided to lock him up in his shed so that he could carry passengers in his cab.
That'll teach that silly red bus who's the best.
And George slowly pushed back Bertie and he locked up the door. And then George went to sleep. The next morning, George woke up bright and early so that Bertie wouldn't know that he had locked the door. The next morning, when Thomas came with Annie and Clarabelle to drop off Bertie's passengers, he was very surprised to see George there instead of Bertie. "Where's Bertie?" said Thomas in surprise.
He broke down, so I'll be taking over until he's repaired.
Are you sure? But how are you going to carry passengers?
In my cab, I can fit a lot in there.
George, Bertie can carry way more passengers than you can.
That's not true. All aboard.
And all of the passengers climbed off Annie and Clarabelle and they all squished and squeezed into George's cab.
Goodbye, Thomas,
said George, and he slowly rolled away. But it was very hard.
Ugh,
said George.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that passengers were so heavy.
George was really struggling, but since steamrollers were very slow, the passengers ran late, and Bertie was locked up in his shed for another few days, and George took over Bertie's passenger run. George was really enjoying himself, but that was when the trouble began. Unfortunately, more and more passengers came and they all had to squeeze inside George's cab.
Ugh,
said George.
What's that? Oh my God, I don't think I should be such a jealous steamroller. Oh my God, Thomas was right. I shouldn't have been a steamroller that carries passengers. Oh dear.
And the passengers and Thomas were right. George was now rocking, and all the passengers got off. Just as George crunched off the quarry mine tunnel and flipped onto his side.
Oh dear, said George. This isn't gonna turn out good.
And he was right. Bertie was soon unlocked from his shed, and he took all of the passengers. Well, laughed Bertie. What do you think you're gonna get in now? And all of the passengers climbed into Bertie, and he drove away. Don't worry, said Bertie to his passengers. I'll soon make up for lost time, and he drove away. Thomas had to carry George on a truck away for repairs. George was in disgrace. Unfortunately, George, said the Fat Controller, it does not look good. You'll have to go to the works for quite some time. And the Fat Controller walked away. And the Fat Controller slowly pulled George away. And all the engines were happy to see George go. And all the engines were right about that. A very rude steamroller had been sent away for repairs in disgrace.